What is up, guys? It's your boy BTN Break the News, and we are back on the video. I am your decoder information, and as you know, you see by this goddamn title that this is about children are indeed gods. Children are gods and goddesses, right? Let's get into it. We ain't gonna beat around the bush. Let's talk about it now, and y'all can have y'all opinions in the comment section. But this is actually facts. Let's get into it. Now, I know a lot of people think God is this concept of a creator that's in the sky somewhere, patrolling all the humanity and making decisions for your reality and what you're living in, and stuff like that. I'm here to tell you, if you are that type of person that's believing that type of concept, you might just have to not watch this video. Because this is a video requiring for highly conscious people. Not to discriminate, but this is a video to go for people that have an open mind about the reality we live in and not a closed mind about the reality we live in. It's just due to respect. Now, if you are a person that believe what I just stated within those details, then you're more than welcome not to watch the video. You're more than welcome to just delete the video, not watch it at all, because you're not going to understand what's going on. It's a different language we're speaking. Let's get into it. Now, children are gods. Like I said, a god is a creator, right? A god is a consciousness, a higher consciousness. A divine entity that's here to create realities and worlds. Create manifestations for other beings or other people, and etc. Right? Those are God. That's what we call a God. You know what I'm saying? So how is a child a God? Think about it. When a child is born, they are naturally themselves. They're not black. They're not white. They're not racist. They're not prejudiced. They're not politicians. They're not none of these labels, names, classifications, anything you want to put under a regular human being that we call today. They're not none of those things. They are specifically creators, right? It is not until people introduce their children to society that they lose their godliness. That is how everything becomes everything. Every child notice themselves as, when you hear a child talk or a child going to school, what's the first thing come out their mouth? Oh, I want to draw, or I want to go play, or I want to have fun, or I want to talk to so and so, or whatever. When you hear when you see a child, you automatically think of a creator, a person that's full of energy, that's full of life, that's wanting to create their own imaginations based off how they feel and how they act and think, and they want to do it in the way they believe so, right? When a child draws from their imagination, from their minds. Einstein stated himself, one of the greatest physicists, or one of the greatest scientists to ever be born. Einstein said himself that imagination is better than knowledge, because imagination is creative. It's not knowledge is something that that you read upon, that you record in your thoughts, that you know something, you know it. Imagination is something that you really just can't know. It just has to be in your mind. You just have to be able to create it based off your mind and how you think. It's just something that comes naturally with you. It's not something that you can just learn. It's just something that comes naturally. And God, what is God? God is a natural source. A tree is a natural source. A plant is a natural source. Your child is a natural source. The baby that's being born, when you see that baby is a natural source of energy. So when you understand, when I say a child is God, I mean that children are gods, because everything that we think of the universe, creator, we're looking at that in a child, because that child has all the embodiments of natural energy. So let's continue with this concept. When a child goes into society, right, what happens? They tell the child, stop running around. Once the child start getting older, they start telling the child, wait, before we even get there, once they get older, when they are children, what do the parents tell these children? They tell them, stop running around, stop screaming in the house, stop being wild, stop drawing in class, pay attention, stop getting bad grades, focus, keep your head up, stop going to sleep in class, stuff like that. Why do we tell our children these things? Why do we tell our children to stop being creative, to stop using their imagination, to stop creating their dreams, to stop being happy about what they're doing? Why do we tell these children this? You gotta question your system, because we tell our children to stop doing things they naturally do to make themselves happy. And then once they start growing up and becoming older adults or teenagers, they start to become like you, and you start saying stuff like, I miss when you was a child because you was creative and you was expressive and you wasn't so disrespectful. I miss the part about you when you was doing this and you was doing that and you was creating your own imaginations and you was actually helping people out with their lives. But now you done changed up and you done got old, you done matured, you start doing things your way. That comes with ego development. You know what I'm saying? That's an ego development. Children don't have an ego development until people start telling them to stop doing what they love doing. When somebody suppress your free will to do what you love doing, what happens? When if somebody continues to suppress you and keep suppressing you, you're going to start getting depressed subconsciously. And then it's going to become an unconscious regret or an unconscious feeling that's going to be inside of your back of your mind. And you're going to be like, damn, I can't do nothing around these people. And then you're going to start acting like them. You're going to start feel like you programmed, and then you're gonna start acting out negative and stuff because you know you can't do things your way. That's what happened to children when they're little bitty gods and goddesses. The parents tell them to stop playing, to tell them stop doing this, stop doing that, basically stopping them from being creative. So once you stop them from being creative, they start doing things that you want them to do, but deep down inside, they know what they want to do, but since their emotions are getting suppressed, they're going to start acting out in their ego, which is doing things against their positivity, which is negativity. They're going to start doing negative things that they think is creative because you said don't do the things that was naturally positive to them to be creative. So now they're going to start acting out doing negative things. And then you're going to say, why are they being negative? Why are the generation so fucked up? Because you told them to stop being creative from a young age. Now let's get into schools, because schools play a big part in destroying gods and goddesses. When children go to school, they are basically programmed to not have their own imagination. When you go to class, right, you always hear students say stuff like, damn, I don't like this lesson. Why we gotta learn the same thing every year? Or they'll say something like, damn, I want to talk about this, but every time I go to school, we gotta talk about the same lessons. Damn. So it's like they're going to school, they're being given the same information about the same stuff, and they tired of this information. They want to hear something new. They want to hear something innovative, something changing. You know what I'm saying? They go to school and hear the same garbage every day, and they come home and be mad. And people say, why are these generations so mad? And why they don't got nothing to look forward to? Well, you put them in a school based off of a one mindset ideology of just, okay, you can only think this way only. You think any other way, it's over. Those schools be teaching these children to think one way. When you do a math problem, what do they tell you? If you do this math problem any other way than we told you, you're going to get an F, because you must do it in the proper equation the proper way. You must do it our way. The equation must be done our way so you can get an A. Why isn't that you can't make another equation to make the problem your way and still get an A? Because they want you to do it their way. If it's not their way, you get an F. That's training people to become one-minded. That's training somebody to become one-dimensional, thinking on a one-scale spectrum. And then you wonder why people are not creative anymore. They're not in their God state. Because they've been told not to be multi-dimensional, not to think multiple ways, think one way. When you go to class, what does the teacher tell you? He tells you to pay attention. And when you pay attention, what happens? You got your back straight, you're focused, you're watching, you're learning and stuff. But what do they teach you? They teach you one-minded knowledge. How to think one way. This is how you read a paragraph. Then you read a paragraph this way, one way. This is how you do a math equation. You read a math equation one way. This is how you learn how to This is how you learn how to do science one way. So you keep teaching people this one-way mind state, they're gonna grow up being one way. They're gonna grow up being half-ass people because you half-assing them when they go to school. When they have this mindset of I don't want to do nothing but go to work and go home and eat food, it's because that's the only thing that's the only thing they know based off of that one way of thinking. They don't know how to think like me, to be creative and stretch their mind out and break this way and go that way and go here and go left, right, twist around and do it. They don't know how to do all that because y'all teach them to think one way. So when we say why is this world so corrupt or why is this world so fucked up, you have to understand Simon Says. The game Simon Says was telling you right there that they was getting programmed. Simon says this, Simon says that, Simon says this. And you know what happens when we speak out against Simon Says? You know what happened? Simon would tell your ass to sit down because you spoke out against Simon Says. AKA you spoke out against the Agent Smith. So you spoke out against the opposite forces and now you gotta sit down and you can't speak. You're teaching children to psychologically to disarm themselves of their possibilities of being who they want to be. Simon Says it was a game designed to keep you one-way thinking. It was a game designed to keep you in fear of authority. It was a game designed to keep you from reaching your true potential. Because you gotta do it this motherfucker way. If Simon Says don't do this, you can't do that. That's the same way with these parents. If your mother say you can't do this, and your mother say this is wrong, then it's wrong. I totally disagree with that ideology. I totally disagree. Just because you're older than somebody and you think you know the way, that doesn't mean you know the way. Just because you have a certain title, you're whatever you are, it doesn't mean you're smarter than other people. It just means you've been here longer. That's the problem with these generations, is that they think the problem with us or the modern generation is that we just come out of nowhere doing crazy stuff. But it's not until people start corrupting our minds with their ideologies that we start becoming corrupt. And then once the children become corrupt, they say, how did they become corrupt? Well, it all started off when you told Sally not to run around the playground and do what she wanted to do and live her life. It all started when you told Jimmy to stop singing when he was a little child. You told him to sit down and shut his mouth. It all started when you told Bray to stop drawing and he needed to sit down and stop drawing. It all started when you told all these kids to stop being creative. You told them to stop being creative and pick up go to school and learn some crap. Stop being creative and wash these dishes. Or stop being creative and take this diploma. Stop being creative and graduate with a cheap degree. Stop being creative and just listen to everything Simon Says listen to. Simon Says stop being creative. Simon Says sit down. Simon Says go to bed. Simon Says wake up. You know what I'm saying? That's teaching people to be slaves to the system. And you wonder why this world is the way it is. Because the children are gods and goddesses. But it's not until people corrupt the creators that it becomes toxic to the environment they live in. Nothing's wrong with nothing's wrong with the children. It's something wrong with the children makers, the children parents, the co-creators. It's something wrong with the people that are making their children when they come out the wombs. It's something wrong with you guys. Because you have to understand, everything you was taught, it wasn't all the way true. So why would you teach the next generation something that isn't all the way true just to keep a tradition alive? When you can't just tell them the truth so they can start their own awakening, their own, age of epiphany. They going by what you said, and they don't even know what's going on, and that just continues to perpetuate the ignorant cycle. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's not just about being a child that makes you a creator. Think about a child. Think about a child is full of expression, creativity. The child is full of imagination. The child is full of manifestation. The child is full of everything you can name. They're jolly, they're happy, they're vibrant. They know about vibration, they know about frequencies, they know about stars. They're very inquisitive. They question everything. Every child has questioned everything. Only time they don't. Reason why people are so sheep today is because when they were growing up, everybody tried to stop their shine. Everybody tried to close them up. Everybody told them to stop talking, stop being you. When you tell somebody to stop being themselves, then they become what you want them to become, and that is how you get this world today. Guys, I love y'all. I am one of those children that held on to these creative beliefs. I am one of those children that was able to survive the ignorance and come out on top. I am one of those children. And I'm telling you, if you're a child right now, if you are a young person, if you need some inspiration to look up to, you see in yourself, and then you can see it through this screen. You can make it. You are beautiful. You are amazing. And you are awesome. And I love you guys. I'm BTN, and it's Break the News, and I decode information for all of you so you don't have to. And I love you guys, and I'm out. Peace.